2009 was an exciting year on Team JSF for Lockheed Martin and our teammates Northrop Grumman and BAE Systems. We'll look back on 2009 as the year we passed through the eye of the needle from development into production flight test. I'm standing here in the forward fuselage area, which is just one of many pieces of the Team JSF factory enterprise. The quality continues to be outstanding. 2010 is going to be an equally challenging year. We can look forward to deploying the F-35 at Eglin as part of the Integrated Training Center, as well as active flight testing at Pax River and Edwards Air Force Base. Thank you for all that you've done to make Team JSF a success in 2009.
" 2009 was an eventful year for the F-35 Lightning II program, with the success of inaugural flights, factory rollouts, international decisions, and the deployment of the first two F-35B short takeoff vertical landing variants to Naval Air Station Patuxent River, Maryland. At the close of the year, the F-35 flight test program had logged more than 130 missions among 4 aircraft in flight. In February, F-35AA-1 opened the doors to its twin weapons bays during the aircraft's 70th flight. The test led the way for qualifying the wide array of weapons that will be carried on the F-35. First was the word of the year in flight test. On February 25th, the second F-35B short takeoff vertical landing, or STOVL variant, BF-2, took to the skies for the first time. On November 14th, AF-1, the first optimized F-35A conventional takeoff and landing, or CTOL variant, made its inaugural flight. On March 19th, Major Joseph O.D. Bachman became the first U.S. Marine pilot to fly the F-35. His first flight was in F-35AA-1, a conventional takeoff and landing variant. In preparation for the first F-35B's November deployment to the Patuxent River test site, BF-1, the first STOVL variant, moved to a specially instrumented hover pit in Fort Worth in March to begin testing, proving the installed thrust performance of the STOVL propulsion system and validating the performance of aircraft software, controls, thermal management, STOVL system hardware, and other systems. As BF-1 demonstrated its performance on the hover pit, F-35AA-1 deployed to Eglin Air Force Base, Florida on April 22nd, the first time for an F-35 at the base. Later in the year, on December 17th, AA-1 conducted its 91st and final flight, 3 years and 2 days after it first took to the skies. Test pilot Jeff Knowles flew the aircraft from Edwards Air Force Base, California, to Naval Air Weapons Station, China Lake, California, where it will undergo live fire testing. In August, a short takeoff vertical landing variant of the F-35 became the first Lightning II to complete an aerial refueling test using the Navy and Marine Corps style probe and drogue refueling system, clearing the STOVL F-35B test aircraft for extended range flights. The year of firsts for flight tests continued on November 15th with the arrival of BF-1 to Patuxent River, where its first hovers and vertical landings will be conducted. The F-35 Autonomic Logistics Information System, ALICE, the aircraft's computerized maintenance management system, is currently monitoring BF-1 from its Sustainment Operations Center in Fort Worth. In December, the second aircraft, BF-2, also arrived at Patuxent River, where it too is expanding its flight test activities. The Pax River team already has begun the extensive 4-year flight test campaign for the future of Marine Corps and Navy aviation. Inside the manufacturing facility in Fort Worth, the production pace has quickened with 15 of 19 test jets already delivered. To transition the F-35 program to full-rate production, the factory in Fort Worth is making preparations with extensive construction activity underway, most notably a new wing assembly system. Lockheed Martin is also preparing for F-35 production activities in Marietta, Georgia, where workers will build the F-35 inner wing module. F-35 production work is slated to begin in second quarter 2011, with the first assembly scheduled for completion in third quarter of 2011. On January 21, 2009, the first F-35 equipped with mission systems, known as BF-4, left the factory. It was a milestone that will lead to the first avionics testing on board an F-35 aircraft, which has the most powerful and comprehensive mission systems package of any fighter that has ever flown. In June, AH-1 Halo, a highly accurate, low observable F-35 model, rolled out of the factory. AH-1 is a detailed, full-scale representation of the stealth fighter and is a key component in validating the F-35's radar-evading properties. On July 28th, a ceremony at the Fort Worth plant marked the unveiling of the U.S. Navy's first-ever stealth fighter, the F-35C carrier variant.
The Joint Strike Fighter will show the world that our sailors will never be in a fair fight because this airplane will top anything that comes its way.
Meanwhile, the program is meeting with tremendous success in the static testing of F-35 airframes. AG-1, an F-35A conventional takeoff and landing variant, is one of 6 full-scale airframes for ground testing constructed for the SDD phase, and in April it arrived in the United Kingdom. It was followed shortly afterward by AJ-1, a full-scale durability test article. Each is undergoing testing in the Structural and Dynamic Test Facility at BAE System Site in Brough, East Yorkshire, England. The first F-35B Stovall ground test aircraft, BG-1, completed the most comprehensive static test program ever attempted. BG-1 endured 150% of design limit load, ensuring that the full flight envelope for the F-35B Stovall variant is available for flight testing. And in November, the first F-35C carrier variant ground test article CG-1 was transported from Lockheed Martin's Fort Worth plant to Vought Aircraft Industries in Dallas for full-scale drop testing. The tests will verify the strength of the F-35C landing gear and airframe structure for carrier landing operations.